So how's it going, guys? This is Rio Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. So in today's video, I would like to talk about cable releases, specifically the JJC's 40cm cable release, aka the TCR series, if I'm right. And if you've seen my previous video that I kind of destroyed my cable release, and because of that, I wasn't able to grab great photos at a great hotel in downtown Malaysia, actually. This is sort of like a follow-up of that video of sort of like me doing my lessons, and I should have purchased more what I call cable releases and traveling with more instead of just one. So in this video, I'd like to talk about this like cable release made by JJC, a company that I actually made a video on. Actually, what was it? Film cutter actually, but this time around a cable release. So yeah, where to start? And because I sort of like destroyed my cable release in my trip to Malaysia, I thought it would be best to sort of like grab and snag a couple of these just to be on the safe side. And I never sort of like mentioned this cable release specifically on my channel because I actually previously destroyed this, and I can't talk much about the quality that is associated with this product, so I never sort of like thought of making a video. But I realized one of the fundamental things about this cable release, which is, if I'm right, in Japan 2024, JJC is probably the only manufacturer that makes cable releases new. And when you think about cable releases and buying them, you only have like 2 or 3 options available. One is going to a film camera shop in downtown Tokyo. And because these film camera shops like sell everything used, even the cable releases, the quality I can't like vouch on because we don't know what kind of manufacturers made that, cable release, and at the same time the film camera shops themselves, we're not sure how they sort of like, preserved these cable releases back in the shelf, not air conditioned, which could sort of like deteriorate the lifespan of these cable releases. So I was sort of skeptical of buying cable releases from a film camera shop, and also it's quite pricey in Japan. Actually, it's like roughly 1,500 to 2,000 yen, $15 to roughly $20 or so for a cable release if you purchase it at a film camera shop in downtown Tokyo. You could snag one for maybe $10 or so, but I was skeptical of that. However, when I like think about it, like I said, the only location you can purchase it new is on Amazon by JJC's. And if I'm right, JJC as of 2024 currently sells 2 types of cable releases. They're both different in terms of length. One is a short version, which is like 40 centimeters. I'll stick in the inches on the right side of the screen. And another one is the standard size, which is centimeters long. And in the past, all the what we call cable releases that I've used are roughly 70 centimeters, which is a long type of version. And basically, it's just the main differences is the distance. I mean, there's pros and cons of going with the 40 centimeters and the 70 centimeters. I'll try to cover that. And I guess my reasons for going with the 40 centimeters as of right now. So up until this point, I've been using the standard size 70 centimeters. And interestingly enough, I destroyed all my 70 centimeters cable releases. And I guess I abuse them so much because my camera's like too huge, if I'm right. GW690, spitting out like large film negatives. I guess I kind of abuse my sort of like cable releases. So instead of getting 70 centimeters, I went with the 40 centimeters. I mean, obviously the pros of having a 40 centimeters is it's the smaller footprint. It's not that long, so it's easier to travel with. And at the same time, when I looked at the price, the 40 centimeters is right now 1,180 yen, and the 70 centimeter version is 1,280 yen. So stick in the dollar value, which is roughly $8 to $10, and the price difference is roughly $1 between the 40 centimeters and the 70 centimeters. So I basically saved $1 for going with the shorter one. And also I can basically purchase another one of these, and because it's like just 40 centimeters, it's easier to transport with. So I went with the 40 centimeter version. And also, not to mention that it comes in 3 colors: silver, black, standard black, and also red. So if you're into those types of aesthetic, you might get the one with a color like red. I normally purchase black, but this time around, because my cable release died in my previous trip, I went with silver instead to sort of like change my attitude towards photography. So because I kind of destroyed my JJC's 70 centimeter what do you call cable release a couple of years back, I can't vouch on the quality in this video specifically because I never have tested it yet on my film camera. I just received this in my mail. This is sort of like a overview type of video. So I guess I should just talk about the characteristics of this JJC's sort of like cable release. And I guess one of the main sort of like, I guess, identifier is obviously that the base plate is really massive in terms of size, if I'm right. It's like sticking out a lot compared to the base plate of this area. JJC made it so that it's easier to like grasp like this, so you can basically press that, I guess, with full force. But honestly, I think this is too big, and it's kind of, I guess, takes up a lot of space, especially in the bag, so they would have done a better job if they made this smaller. And another characteristics of the JJC is that it has this bulb mode where normally when you press the what you call the cable release itself, it basically there's a spring in there which basically pushes it back up. But if you change the dial right here, I think counterclockwise, you can basically press it and it basically stays in there, and when you want to release, you just push it right to the side and it basically pops up. So I really don't do that much, so basically have it like in a free mode. So basically, let me just put it back. It basically goes up and down, and the tip basically goes up like that. That's basically what a cable release is, and you can basically trigger or fire the camera at a distance without any cost of shake. So obviously, I talked about the pros of the 40 centimeters. It's like small, compact, and lightweight, and doesn't take that much of a footprint. But I guess the cons of the 40 centimeters is that when you stick this onto a camera, this sort of like the area where you press the shutter is actually at a higher sort of like area, meaning that if you mount your camera at a super high angle above your eyesight, it's actually really hard to like reach for this, cable release. Or if you're like shooting, I guess, really low on the ground near the floor, actually, you basically have to crouch down to grab the, the cable release. However, I guess the standard one, the 70 centimeters, makes that of an ease because this is longer. So basically, when this is attached to the camera, this basically dangles far down, so you can basically reach above if you want to like fire the shutter. Or if you're on a flat, like we'll call flatland or the floor, actually, you can basically don't have to crouch down as much when you're firing the shutter. So that's actually the pros and cons of the 40 centimeters in my opinion. But I went with this because I like smaller footprint. And yeah, that's basically sort of like my overview of the 40 centimeters cable release. And obviously there's not much to talk about cable release. It's the only duty of this is basically firing the shutter from the distance, and you can basically sort of like, there's a sort of like a thread on the side, so you can basically screw this into like the shutter of the camera, and because there are threads, it won't pop out when you basically press the shutter. So yeah, that's basically it on this video of the JJC's 40 centimeter cable release. And honestly, I just want to hear from you guys, like, when you do long exposures, do you use the 40 centimeter shorter type of cable release, or do you use the 70 centimeter standard size? And if you ever use the 70 centimeters, I'm kind of curious of you guys, like, does it break as much? Because I guess this durability thing is more like a hit or miss kind of thing, where the manufacturer did their job of producing quality releases, but in the past I broke so many, like 3 or 4 over the course of 4 years or so. So I don't know if that's a lot or not many for some. So yeah, I'd love to hear your insight on this topics. And yeah, that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and yeah, we will see you next time. Peace out.